Today we will be reviewing the CHUWI Minibook X. This is a small laptop which I have found to be high quality. It has a number of issues, however, because of the way that the air intake works. Unless the back of it is propped up against something, it can overheat. Also, the battery life is short. On Linux, about 3 hours. That said, it works reasonably well. You can also get a pen for it, the HiPen H8. I had great issue getting the pen to work without grinding the tip of the pen down to a nub, as you can see here. However, having done so, it works properly. There is some lag, but it is not significant. I don't have a whole lot to say about the laptop itself. It runs properly. The quad-core Intel Celeron N100 processor works reasonably well. CPU usage is reasonably high with 8 Firefox tabs open. You can bend it if you wish. It is 360-degree foldable. I'm not sure what program one would normally use for stress testing. I think Minecraft will work reasonably well. And I see we are downloading update files. Because why would we not be? Why would we not be? Usually I make very short videos. This is going to be a long video. However, only the very beginning of the video is the review itself. Decent laptop, minor issues with battery life and overheating, can be folded into a tablet if you so desire. The remainder of the video will be me installing Linux on it. But yeah, if you wanted to improve it slightly, you might raise these rubber feet in order to put the keyboard at a more ergonomic angle and allow more of a gap for the air intake, which is otherwise very, very close to the table. See, we are still downloading update files. This is what I get for not testing my Minecraft installation before doing all of this. I'm not entirely sure why my computer has not been focusing. Oh, also the HiPen H8 turns itself off after 1.5 minutes of not being moved. And while it has an indicator LED that says that it is charging, there is none when it turns on. But yes, you could use it as a drawing tablet if you so desired. However, I recommend sanding the tip down like this. A lot of this video will be me waiting for loading bars. Anyway, once I have shown how well Minecraft runs on this computer, I'm going to open it so that you can see the insides better, which I will attempt to do one-handed. I'm sure this won't go poorly. Not at all. This is the computer I will be installing Linux on. It ships with Windows. I've had the best luck installing Windows first, then using disk management to set up the partitions, then installing Linux after. I haven't been able to do it in the other order. I'm not sure why my camera is having so much difficulty focusing on this. I see we need to download another half a gigabyte for whatever reason. So I may as well start removing screws from this computer. Opening the computer is very easy. It's held in by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. One of them with this super secure quality control pass sticker. No one will get behind that thing, no siree. Nope. Not at all. Alright. So I have upgraded the hard drive on my computer. And that went reasonably well without issue, but if I had to do it again, I would use a single-sided SSD for reasons that will soon become obvious. See, we are still downloading. Yep. Now, if you install the hard drive yourself, you'll need to reinstall Windows on it. I recommend using the program Rufus to download the Windows ISO and to make the boot disk for installing Windows. This computer has it pre-installed, so we will be skipping that step. But if you are on Windows, you will need to use the program Rufus to get the Windows ISO, burn it to a flash drive, and also, if you want Linux ISO, burn to a flash drive as a bootable disk. I hope you all on the internet are having a pleasant day today. Here it is Christmas Day. So of course, that means time to work with hard drives, hardware, messing with computers in general, you know, for a festive holiday season. Good heavens. I had originally planned on using a paper checklist for all of this, but I did not properly prepare, so I'll just be winging it. I hope to do future videos in multiple languages, but this one will probably just be in English for the time being. I see, and we have our postage stamp sized Minecraft screen. Options, video settings. There we go. So this is with default settings, I believe. Generally, Minecraft runs at a pretty consistent 40 to 42 FPS on this computer. This is not a very good starting location for showing how rendering works. It also seems like I'm stuck on something. Guess not. Destroy the tree. Wow. Alright. You know, I was planning on just going outside and running around. I see it as night. This is a good and interesting position to have left myself in. Look how well it renders. Alright, great. Note, comparatively minimal lag as I drown in this hole. And I see 20 to 21 FPS. This probably has something to do with all of the other software I have running in the background. Previous tests, it was running at about 40. Regardless, the CHUWI Minibook X performs adequately. You can draw on it. Maybe I will redo the test of Minecraft. Alright, let's look at the inside of this thing. But yeah, okay, if you have 8 windows of Firefox and KiCad, then Minecraft does not perform so well. Alright, now to the interesting part. The innards. Innards, I say. Someday I will learn to edit videos. Today is not that day. This will be going up in all of its glory. Unedited, with errors, mumblings, you know, all that good stuff. Do like myself some errors. You might even get to watch me lose some screws. Won't that be exciting, Internet? If you ask questions in the comments, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. So, I should turn this around. You can see that my solid state drive here is slightly bent. You can see the curve on it. This is because it's a double-sided solid state drive. It is vastly preferable if you are upgrading the hard drive on this computer to use a single-sided solid state drive. By default, it ships with such a drive. The difference is this drive only has the chips on the front side, that is, on this face here. There are no chips on the back side of the drive. I suppose since I'm in here, I may as well just show you. Anyway, the manufacturer says that this computer can only take up to 1 terabyte hard drive. The support forums, someone said they had a 2 terabyte drive working, the specific one that I purchased. So I bought it, and it works, but as you saw earlier, it's a little bent. This is unnerving, to say the least. But the drive it ships with does not have chips on the back, which is why it is not bent when installed. So if you decide to upgrade the hard drive on this computer, get a single-sided NVMe drive, not dual-sided like I used. Can I put it back one-handed? That's a good question. I'll do my best. So far, so good. Alright, proof will be if it boots, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, in summary, single-sided drive, no bending upon installation. Double-sided drive does work, has a bit of a curve. The curve makes me really nervous, but there's not really anything I can do about it except replace it and get a single-sided drive, which I'm not doing just yet. Now we can put all of the screws back in. After I get the screws back in this one, I'll be showing you how to make a Linux boot disk. And how to access the BIOS, and a number of small tweaks which are necessary to correct various issues with the Linux installation. I know this is the content you come here for. Very exciting stuff. Yep, this is what I'm doing with my finite, precious, constantly dwindling time in existence. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. In any case, here we are. Next step is to make a boot disk, which I'll be doing with this computer here on the left. Something about that screw does not feel right. But it seems to be going in properly, so I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, manufacturer says only up to 1 terabyte hard drive. I have 2 and it works. Someone else on the forum has 2 and it works. I suspect that you could probably put any size in terms of memory, as long as it has the same physical outlines. There would be no issue. After following these instructions, your system will be configured like mine. That is, when you turn it on, we'll boot to grub, which is an acronym whose meaning I cannot recall at the moment. Grub will be turned 90 degrees, like so. I'm sure there's some way to fix it. I haven't bothered, because it's pretty easy, as there are only 4 entries and only 2 of them are actually used. The very top boots you to Linux. The third one down boots to Windows. Not sure why I've lost focus for this. What is your issue, phone? There we go. Top option, Linux Mint. Third option, Windows Boot Manager. In any case, I'm going to use Linux to make the boot disk. If you are on Windows, you will use the program Rufus. I have also had success using Balena Etcher, but it has been a long time since I've done so. Alright, so you'll need a thumb drive. Yes, ports. This thing has 2 USB-C ports and a power switch. One of the USB-C ports is used for power input. It is also worth mentioning that the power supply for this has a regular USB-C port, but it supplies 12 volts. Also, here is the headphone and microphone jack, which I have tested and found no issue with. But yeah, this power supply that comes with this computer will happily destroy any of your appliances that are foolish enough to accept its 12 volt output without verifying. So for example, my phone does not have an issue because it is smart enough not to just accept the 12-volt input. But something that was not as intelligent as a phone, like the HiPen H8 for example, will be destroyed if plugged in to the regular looking USB-C output that comes with the CHUWI Minibook X. That said, let's make a boot disk. So you'll need a thumb drive. If you have a regular thumb drive, you'll need an adapter to convert it from USB to USB-C. Someday I'll figure out how to be fancier with all of this. I don't know who's actually going to end up here. If you have ended up here, hello. And welcome. Linux Mint comes with a bootable USB creator. So you just navigate to your ISO file, select the USB key, and tell it to write it. Another minor issue I've noticed with this computer is that sometimes the touchpad driver will act weird. Even if I'm not moving my finger, the pointer will move slightly. Pressing down harder to give the touchpad a wider area to talk to detect prevents this issue. But you may find that as well. I've updated the touchpad driver from, I think it was Touchpoint previously. I changed it to Synaptic, and that seemed to improve performance somewhat. Hence, I've included that on the list of tweaks. Anyway, I'm not entirely sure what content you want, YouTube. It would be kind of fun to make like a question and answer show where people ask life questions, or even just want help with math homework. How are we doing on this? Pretty well. Well, it's nice that that touchpad issue reappeared in time for this video, because it went away for the longest time. Wonder if it's associated with opening a back case. Can't imagine why that would happen, but hey, what do I know? So, if you were upgrading the hard drive, you would need to reinstall Windows first. Or at least, I've had much better luck installing Windows than Linux for dual boot systems. The other way around, Windows just wants to eat everything. But suppose you already did use Rufus to download the Windows 11 ISO and install it, then you would be at the same point here. Long press to turn the computer on. It has a power indicator LED, but it's not very visible from above, only on the side like this. This is how it was configured when it was shipped to me, used, but it's very similar to how it would come new. Alright, so what you'll want to do is set up hard disk partitions. Do that with a tool called disk management. If you type in disk management, it'll send you to this part of the control panel, create and format hard disk partitions. Alright. Another thing, for dual boot systems, it can be nice to turn off the encryption. So the reason it's nice to turn it off is because then you can access your Windows files directly from within Linux. Interesting. Why are we not getting the setting? Device encryption settings. Okay.